What's up, guys? So today we're going to be talking about tube extensions. So these are kind of interesting because it allows you to have more close-in photography without having to buy a expensive macro lens. So I've been using it with this 50mm Nikon 50mm lens. So these are some Valero. They're the auto ones, meaning they can use the autofocus, and it does to a certain extent work. And because this one has, I think it's a foot or two, but this allows you to get in within really close. I'm kind of explaining that, but yeah, here's showing some pictures now, explaining kind of how it looks having both of them. So with the normal, just the lens, and then with a 36mm, and showing you how much closer it is, and then also some images showing just how much more it looks. I've been using it for Lego. It allows you to do it cheaper and what I was saying is true macro photography is 1-to-1. You'd have to do math based off of your lens, kind of your sensor size, and as well as what camera and the length to figure out what would work for you if that's what you're going for. For me, it's not, but it's inexpensive. It's an inexpensive way. Macro lenses can be expensive. These are, I think this is like $100. I'll have a link down below to the ones I got. There are plenty more on B&H and other ones. It's not affiliated. Don't worry about that. It's just if you want to buy them. If not, feel free to find them wherever. Find them wherever they're cheaper, works for you. And you can get ones that aren't, that don't have the autofocusing, if that's what you want. For me, I was wanting this. The other thing so like if you want to manage focus, the other thing is you can do focus stacking. It's a little more complicated. This camera actually will do that. I haven't played with it yet. I will probably play with it, but I still need the tube extensions. So I want to kind of explain a little bit how tube extensions work. So you have your lens, which is technically multiple elements, but we'll just assume it's one element. You have your object some distance away. We'll just show, that was bad, but we'll just show a cube, and it's some distance away, and it kind of comes in, the light comes in, oh, bad too. The light comes in, and then the lens will focus it down to your camera sensor. This represents your camera sensor. So some amount of this, I don't know if you call it the length. I'm not an optics expert, not an optical engineer or anything like that, but to a certain extent, this angle as well as this distance, I don't know if it's total distance or this is just the angle. When you have something close to your lens, wow, I'm not very good at drawing. I'm an engineer, more the technical standpoint. So when you have your object being much closer, to get this to work, or you need a greater distance. This is massively exaggerated, but you need more distance here. How I think of it, and this may not be 100% accurate, is this is a conservation of probably angle a little bit, and it's correlated with the distance. So you have to conserve the angle between all of these, between them. So if you're wanting to focus further away, you need the lens to be closer, versus when you want to focus on something closer, the distance between the lens and the filter needs to be closer. So that's how I view it, and that's kind of why tube extensions work. So the bigger this distance is bigger this distance, say D, is the closer you can focus in. Now, obviously, there's limits. You can't have it, actually, you can have it right up to the lens, but obviously, there's a limit of how close relative to other things going on. And again, further away. Now, how close it can be for distance-wise, there's an infinity point. I'm not going to pretend to understand it, but there's infinity, and you have the focus ring on your camera is to a certain extent adjusting that. And infinity is as close as it can be to a certain extent. But there's also, with like DSLRs, there's a distance for the mirrors and stuff like that. Mirrorless are closer than that, but there's still limiting factors. It can only be so close, and it can focus in fantasy, but that's a different discussion. But anyway, I hope this helps. I hope that someone finds this useful. I'm just trying to get better explaining stuff, and hope someone finds it useful, because I thought it was really cool to be able to use these, because it was really hard finding a lens I was going to do it for Lego photography, and it's really hard finding a lens to focus close that wasn't expensive. So this was an inexpensive option to kind of play around with it. And I hope somebody, as I said, finds this helpful and useful. So have a good day. Thanks for watching.